talk some stuff about somebody and I wasn't gonna get busted. Let me pull it up. So everybody, we had people that were like, we didn't get to get our questions in. We wanted to hear more about what was going on with Mama Starr, so we had to come back for a part 2 so that she could kind of connect with y'all a little bit more, and some of y'all could get your questions in. The first thing that I want to say, I want to say thank you for coming back, because I know you busy. I know you got a bunch of stuff going on, so I always appreciate when you can put some time into what we doing. I really appreciate it. You are like the best to me. You already know I love you.
I love you too.
So now I done got through girl gushing. You have a class that's coming up next Sunday, and it's Work in the Graveyard.
Yes, yes.
What can people expect to get out of this class that's coming up? Because I had a lot of people asking me, but I was like, I'm not doing the class. So from your words, Mama, what is it that you're doing?
Well, I just feel like this needs to be done because I don't think that folks really understand the term work in the graveyard. I think they think that it means that you can go in there partying, have a good time. You know, I've even heard of folks having sex in the graveyard. Do you understand that that ground is full of spirits? So sleeping on the graves. I just feel like folks really need to understand that work in the graveyard does not mean just going having a full out party. Mm-hmm. You have those spirits are living spirits. You have to get to know them and let them get to know you, or you're going to bring something home with you. It might not happen immediately, but eventually it's going to suck the life out of you. Everything you got going good is going to go to doo-doo. And I just think that folks need to really understand about paying to go in, honoring the keeper of the gate, paying to come out, how to attend the graves of the folks that are in that graveyard. If you don't have family in a graveyard and you just take it upon yourself to go in there and just do whatever, who gave you permission to do that? And why do you feel like you can do that? Are you that privileged that you can just do whatever you want to do with no consequences? I just feel like being raised in the South, the graveyard is a big thing. And I think that folks need to understand that you don't just go to the graveyard to pick up some dirt. It's more, it's much, much more than that.
Right.
There's respect and honor that goes into all of that. And you can't just go to well, I guess you can, and just get some grave and put grave dirt and put the money down there. It might work a couple of times, but after a while, you're going to get hemmed up. And that's just the facts. That's not me being scary. I'm just telling you, this is what I've seen.
I think you hit on some valid points, because you're seeing some groups where people feel like they can go in there and just grab graveyard dirt. And some of them aren't leaving anything behind because, you know, it's like, okay, the spill called for this and I need to go in there and get it. They don't know what grave they're taking it from. They don't know what this person was like. They're not even doing the research.
No.
So I think it really is needed, because you have a lot of people that are, I keep hearing it all in these groups threatening people. I'm going to put you in the graveyard or I'm going to go do some graveyard work on you, but they don't know the proper way.
Right. And they don't realize that that same work that they're doing with an experienced worker can be turned right around on them, and that same spirit can come after them and their whole world to be shattered.
That's true.
It's like a cake. You know, half the pieces are missing to the recipe. You know how to start it and you know how to finish it, but you don't understand none of those other things that go in the middle of that to make that thing something that it's supposed to be. And I think that's the issue with graveyard work.
Yes.
You know?
I was going to say that's the issue with it. I think a lot of people are used to this microwave magic.
That's what I'm going to start calling it. Microwavable.
That's what it is.
I
It's
love it.
microwave magic. They want to go in, they want to grab something, and they want to start working with it. They don't know what spirits they're working with. They don't know what the consequences are. You said everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would tell everybody, if you don't know, take the class.
Mm-hmm.
Take the class. This is one of those things where you need a mentor to help you out. I remember the first time Papa took me to a graveyard in New Orleans. He was like, this is how you go in, this is what you leave, this is how you come out.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really important because, you know, no matter, we don't know everything. You have to remain teachable.
Yeah.
But I think if you're looking for the answers on Google or YouTube, you're going to get half the truth. You need somebody who actually does this work to guide you with this. It's really important. Sharon, you do graveyard work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Go ahead.
They want everything out of a book. They want to be able to find everything on the internet and say, oh, well, so I seen this on here and I seen this on there. And yep, they'll find something to fuck themselves up every time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think the new threat nowadays in the community is, I'm going to put you in the graveyard, or I'm going to go to the dead. I hear that all freaking time. And I think people, when you come against a seasoned worker, you really got to put up, or you're going to get got.
Shut up.
Yeah, because you're going to come across somebody that's going to put you in, they're going to teach you. They're going to spank you in a way that only a true worker or somebody who's been doing this and know what they're doing. So I'm going to get to some questions, Mama, because I know that is with TJ and Amanda in their occult masterclass, right?
Yes.
And it's Sunday at 7 p.m., Mama?
I think so. Not this Sunday, next Sunday.
Next Sunday.
Next Sunday, right?
At 7 p.m. So let's see. Hey, everybody. I know we kind of just jumped in again. So to everybody, hello. How y'all doing? Let me see. Jessica Pace. I don't know how to work with graveyard dirt, but especially if someone pays that spirit better than the person who uses it. Let's see. I don't know if that's a question, but I know she's saying that she doesn't know how to work with it. But I think you have, like I say, you have to either take the class or you have to deal with a worker who knows what they're doing.
I will say this. There's no such thing as somebody that can pay for dirt and they pay more money and it's going to make their stuff stronger. No, it is the conversation that you have with that spirit in that grave.
Mm-hmm.
It is how you communicate with them, the feelings they have for you. There's just a big misconception that every dead person that's in a graveyard is going to do what you want. That is absolutely not true. It's just not true.
I think a lot of people feel like it is a free for all.
Yeah,
like
but it's not.
And you're right, it's not. You know, I see people that won't work with their ancestors. They won't go to their graves, but they'll go somewhere else and they'll try to find a soldier. Like somebody told me one time they were trying to work with a serial killer. And I was like,
why would you work with somebody's sister that you don't know?
Absolutely.
Just because the body is dead, the spirit is folks don't understand that the spirit is still alive. Whatever they were in life, they are in death. Mm-hmm. So would you trust somebody, a spirit like that? They'll turn on you. I mean, folks need to use their common sense. Working in the graveyard don't make you a big bad worker. To me, what makes you a big bad worker is putting your protection up and being able to reverse anything that's been thrown at you. Now, if you can do that, I applaud you, and you're the baddest girl I know. Graveyard work does not impress me. It doesn't.
You know, Mama, I tell a lot of people all the time that your protection work, grounding and protection work should be the first thing you focus on, just because. But of course, everybody wants to do curses and hexes because right now that's cute.
Yeah, it's cute right now till you get hit back with it.
Tell me about it. You're right.
Right?
Until you get hit. And that's when people realize, I need to go back and do this.
Yeah. It's all cute till somebody that knows a little more than you or feels is is up in their spirit and knows when something is wrong with them, and they start doing all this cutting and clearing and reversal and stuff, then you'll see, you know, what's really, because it's going to go back where it came from. Folks need to really understand. I can't speak for other things like voodoo and things like that, but where conjure is concerned, everything has to be justified. It has to be. And
okay,
if
Mom,
it's not,
then you got a problem.
That's right.
I believe it. I've seen it. Mama, somebody wants to know, what does the spirit do with the money that you leave? If you leaving money at the graveyard, they want to know what the spirit does with it.
Okay, let me turn this around to them. So I come to you and I want something, but I want you to give it to me for free. You gonna give it to me? Are you gonna worry? Are you gonna worry about what I'm giving you?
Right.
No, the main point is the interaction with those spirits. Sherwin, help me out here. I don't think that folks really understand, or I'm not saying it right.
Everything comes with a price. You have to, everything comes with a sacrifice. Everything must be paid for. You can't take something without giving something. So that's the basis of it all. So what you're basically paying for services. That's just like going to a store and buying something. You got to pay money. You can't walk out with it for free.
And then you don't ask what they're going to do with that money after you give it to them, do you?
Right.
That's impolite, right?
Right.
It's rude. That's very rude.
Right. And plus it's basic conjure etiquette.
Yeah.
Basic conjure etiquette. You can't just like you basically pay for everything going into the graveyard and basically coming back out. You putting in the money, the energy, your prayers, all that stuff. Even when you're working something, you're giving some form of currency, whether it's time, money, energy, all that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it don't. I mean, that's just like if the spirit say, "Well, what are you doing with my dirt after you done pay for it?"
That's right. What are you doing with my dirt after you paid for it?
It's true. It really is true. Like you say, if you
that is a very good question. That is a great question.
Yeah. Because like you say, it's a give and take. You're giving something to get something, but it's a respect.
Yes.
It's not that you're using, it's a respect. So that was very well explained too. Let me go ahead and see. I'm trying to get some more. Let's see, Charlene is saying exchanges are mandatory, and that's true. And let's see, Amy was talking about the boomerang effect, about things coming back if you're doing things out of order or without some type of cause to it. Now, we have a lot of people that don't believe in the consequences of conjure work. I'll have a lot of people that say, oh, you know, it's free for all. I don't have to worry about spirit coming back on me.
You don't. No, sister, you know, they really don't unless they come against a seasoned worker that they've thrown at and they know how to deal with it and take it off. They're going to get hit with their own work. That's why everything has to be justified. You know, you may go years just throwing and doing whatever you want to do. But when you hit the wrong worker, you're going to get laid out. I'm not being cocky. I'm just saying.
No.
Every action calls a reaction, you know?
And it's not even just you. There are workers out there that don't play. They not online. They not doing Facebook Lives.
Yeah,
they in the backwoods somewhere.
Right.
And if you mess with somebody that belongs to them, you got a problem.
That's right.
You have a problem. I think a lot of people get used to these cookie cutter workers.
Yeah.
And everybody's posting their work online, and this is what I do, and this is how you do it, and taking pictures of it. But there literally are some workers out there that work in silence. You won't see it coming. And like you say, they will lay you out.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. You got to be honest about that.
Hard head makes a soft behind. You know, my mama told me that my whole life growing up. Hard head makes a soft behind. So you got to learn those lessons. You just got to learn them.
Francis Davis is saying this is all in your book. They need to read the book. Everything you're talking about is in your book.
Also, another thing people don't realize when it comes to conjure is that if they don't know what they're doing, they'll end up working themselves and thinking they're working somebody else.
Sherwin, that's facts. That is true facts, and they will swear to God that somebody's throwing at them, and it's their own work messing them up.
Explain that to them, Sherwin, because a lot of people don't understand what you mean.
That's like, okay, say for instance, perfect example, love work. Somebody hard on working on someone, and they're working on someone, and then they realize they done become so obsessed with this person that the work is working them, and they become more obsessed with the person than the person become obsessed with them. And so then now they are hunting this person down. They're trying to find every way possible to get a hold of this person, and this person then move on with their life, then find another person to be with and everything. And they obsess over this person. Perfect example. Even back to the graveyard work, you can they end up putting themselves in the graveyard faster than somebody else if they don't know what they're doing.
Yep.
Because one thing you have to worry about, and people don't talk about this, is attachments. If you don't know what you're doing and you walk into a graveyard, that spirit will follow your ass home. That same spirit now, and is now feeding off of you, walking around here, you seeing orbs, you seeing shadows, you seeing all these things just because you don't know what you're doing.
It's true.
And Sherwin, to go along with that, what you said about the love work and about the pulling, and usually with love work goes domination and controlling and binding. Okay, if you had issues and then you broke up, you did this love work and you're bringing them back, baby, unless you get rid of those issues that were between you to start with, no, you're just spinning your wheels. Because nothing, it's not going to have a strong foundation. You got to do cleansing work. You got to do cut and clear work. You got to reverse all the issues that were between y'all as a couple in the first place.
Oh, you know what, Mom? I feel like we're going to church. I feel like we're going to church. I say this over and over and over again. People don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear it. You could be bringing a toxic person back. They don't want to hear it.
Sister, I don't think they understand it because so much is out there on love work, and it gives you a recipe to bake that cake, but it doesn't tell you that if you shake the floor, that cake is going to bust. It's going to fall. They don't understand. This is not easy work. Sometimes this work takes a long time, doing the work, clearing the way, fixing your spot, and then, do whatever it is that you're doing. If you're broke and you are depressed and down in your spirit and you're doing all this money work, guess what? Not much gonna happen. You have to be cleanse yourself, get your mind in the right focus, in the right direction, and then do your work. That's like cooking a meal in a dirty pot.
Mama, God damn it. I feel something coming on. But it's the truth. It's the truth. People don't want to hear that. I don't do work if I'm down. I don't do work if I'm depressed. I don't even do work if I'm desperate. I don't do it because I'm not in the right place, and my work never works out there. It never comes out when I'm in that space. Right. So I have to kind of, even when I'm upset, a lot of people will take your anger and channel it into your. I can't do it. No. It throws my stuff out of whack. So I have to kind of take a step back and be like, you know what? Let me get in the right mindset. Let me cleanse, and then let me come back and do what I need to do. There's so much conflicting information out there for people. And I think that's where it just gets crazy with what people, what they see, what they think they need to do, and how the work is going to turn out. But everything that you do, your emotions will affect your work.
Yes.
If you're not in the right mind, you can't do it. I feel like I want to get up and do a little jig and a two-step. I feel it.
Yeah.
Sister, one of my elders a long time ago, because I'm a Leo, I can be kind of pushy, and I can want everything when I want it. And that's no lie. That's just me. And he told me one time that there's steps for every single work that you do. But it doesn't matter what kind of knowledge you have or what kind of facts you have. If you cannot create that environment for your own self, you cannot create it for somebody else.
It's true. You know, and there's an example, because there's somebody that we both know that has somebody do some love work for them, and the person was off mentally. They were off. And I kept thinking that too. How were they going to do this work for you when their mind is not even right? And they ended up causing that relationship to rip apart.
Yeah.
Now, I think the work was supposed to do a cut and clear and then bring them back together. But because the person was mentally unstable, the work didn't complete the way that it was supposed to. So I think a lot of people need to realize, when you're paying a worker, when you're going to somebody, you really need to take the time to research this person. You need to talk to them.
Watch
a lot
them.
of people have issues that they don't show online. You don't see it on Facebook. Because, you know, we can put makeup and lipstick on this and look right, but it doesn't mean that it is right. So I think a lot of people, you need to really look into that. Let me see. We got to get into a question. Let me see. My question is, should you dismiss your prior work? Like, if you break up and you don't want to reconcile, why keep the sweetening jar? I know someone who does love work on everyone she likes, and I guess she keeps the sweetening jar. So she's keeping the work. So what, she got a bunch of guys buried in the backyard?
To me, if you did that, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, to me, all you're doing, and I bet their relationship has stuck, because all you're doing is confusing spirit.
I agree. It's the same thing when you do a reading for somebody and they tell me that they want love, but then I see that they're confused.
I know.
How are you going to bring it in if you don't really want it? The same thing is, why would you keep jars of X's if you done with that X?
Nope.
Right.
They ask them to be dumped somewhere, throw them in some water, bury them somewhere else, but they got
I'd put them in a brown paper bag, take the hammer, bust them, and go throw the bag. Hey, you know, the work is over. It didn't, either it worked or it didn't work. Just get rid of it. And you know, when folks do that, I don't see how their spiritual work, to me, that would confuse the spirits that walk with them.
True.
Don't you think so?
Yeah.
I mean,
like Shishi is saying, you still have cords attached to that person. You're not cutting cords. So how are you going to bring something new in if you still have attachments to something in the old?
You can't.
Some people, and I've noticed this, some people like to keep their work. They put it in the shoebox, they stick it in the closet under their bed. And I'm like, I was taught that when the work is done, you dispose of the work.
Yeah. When the job is over, the work's got to go. It did its job.
Yeah.
Yep. That's why I always tell people to ask this one big question: is my life ready for this person? I always tell them, especially love work, is my life ready? Because one thing they got to realize is, you can bring a person in all day long, but what about the baggage that comes with them?
Yes.
What about that physical stuff? We always focus on that spiritual stuff. We forget about the physical stuff.
Yes.
Do we not realize how much of a mess this person could be?
True.
And you know, Sherwin, going along with that, saying that, do folks really realize that when you mingle your spirit with a partner, your spirits interact together and you each leave a little bit with the other person.
Right.
So if they a hot mess and you keep messing with them and you don't do something to try to heal whatever is wrong with them and cleanse away all of that, the more that you interact with them and share that spiritual bond, your life is eventually going to become a mess too, because you've shared that, you've let them share that spirit with you.
Yep, there's those cords intertwined, those connections go from person to person.
Yep, and I don't think folks understand that. You know, I don't think they really understand that, and most of it is because they have not had the correct training.
Right.
They're just taking from here, taking from there, and putting all these pieces together, but they're really missing the foundation of the work. And I have said this for years. There's more to conjure work than what is out here. It's a whole system. From the way you live your life, you know, till everything that you do. And you have to have the mental foundation and grow with it. You can't just take pieces here and pieces here. I've noticed that folks don't want to have elders no more. They want to instantly be the elder, you know?
How you gonna be the elder if you don't know? If you starting at ground zero? But you know what? We living in a day where you can just give yourself a title.
I know, sister. You know, and I'm seeing this over and over and over and over and over. I'm seeing it, and they're missing all of these little bitty things. Like when you have a breakup, do a cut and clear, do a cleansing. You know, get yourself back together before you start moving forward. But folks nowadays don't. They jump in with both feet and take off running.
It's true. It's true. Hold on, Mama. Okay, so I know some of y'all are putting comments that y'all feel nauseous or y'all feel sick with the energy. Click off. If you feel some kind of way, it could be somebody sending some energy through. Cleanse, light you some incense if you're feeling off. If it's too much for you, then just go ahead and click off. Click off, because I feel it too. And I think it's some negative energy that's coming through.
Yeah, I didn't think I was gonna get on. It like took me 3 tries.
Yeah. Well, you know what? They ain't gonna stop it. They ain't gonna stop this show. We're gonna keep it going. So let's move.
I think it's just the thing I was talking about, how today is. But you know, with electronics have a tendency to magnify things anyway.
It does. It does. So if you feel some kind of way, if you feel sick, if the energy is overwhelming, go ahead and click off and cleanse.
Our sister, they can put a pinch of salt under their tongue and just let it melt. It'll clear the spirit out ASAP.
Hey, dropping jewels. Put some salt under your tongue.
Just a pinch.
Or cover your heads.
Yeah, or cover your head. Makes it harder for them to get in.
That's true. Get a lot of people.
I knew this was going to be a tricky show. Whenever I clicked and it just kept rolling and rolling and rolling, I was like, oh yeah, somebody don't want me on here.
It was the same thing when I tried to get on too, so I figured it out. But you know what? They ain't stopping no show. We gonna keep it moving. We got you on here. We got enough workers on here to transmute this energy. So we be gone, Satan.
That's right.
Not gone.
Satan.
All right.
Okay, all right. So question, what if you have an obsessed person that you are no longer with that keeps sending you bad juju? What do you do with this crazy person?
Did they work on them?
She said that they sent in her bad juju, so they working on her.
But did she work on them to have them?
Now that's the question.
Yeah.
Because she didn't put it on there. I did talk to, and it's not the same person, but I talked to a female a couple of days ago that was going to purchase some obsession work to bring a guy in. Now, when I did the reading, the guy was a cheater. He was an abuser. And I was like, she wanted this person to make him obsessed so he would come back to her and then bind. And I kept thinking, for the life of me, why the hell would you want a cheater and somebody that's going to beat you, that you're binding to you for life? And this person, she's going to go ahead and pay the money. It's what she wants to do. But I'm Rosemary, did you work this person? She said no. She did not.
Okay, so first off, when you have a stalker like that, first thing is to take legal action. Then I would bind him and box him up. That's what I would do. I'd get barbed wire, make a dolly, say your prayer and petition over the dolly that you've named after him, put his photo on the dolly, then get you some barbed wire and make it cut into that doll and just wear gloves because it will poke you, but just bind him with that barbed wire. And on every turn, say, you know, every time he comes after me, he's going to get stuck. And put it in a box and put it in a dark place. All
right. Thank you, Mama, for that. Let me see. Sherman, you picking up any questions on your side?
Someone asked how to cut cords at the end of a relationship.
I would do a cut and clear, but I would also do a regimen of either 5 or 7 cleansing baths first. Then I would do a reversal simply for 3 days, simply to reverse any type of connection or anything that my spirit has picked up on them. And it's not your regular reversal. You're simply reversing whatever they left to you. You want them to have it back. Give it back to them. Go in peace. Go back, you know, to your home body. And then I would do cut and clear. And I was taught to literally do that with a machete or scissors.
Right.
And focus on the stomach area, because really that's where things really, it's not so much the mind, but in that area, that's where all the female organs are, you know? And so you really need to focus on that area.
So the root chakra are the solar plexus. Because of the emotions. Because either the root chakra, you're going to be bound to the person sexually, or solar plex emotionally.
Yes, and cut all of that out.
Like
because you know, even when you ever noticed, even when you break up with somebody and you haven't seen them for years and years and years, every once in a while they'll come into your mind. And my mama used to say that that's because there's a connection that was not broken. You may be separated and you may be miles apart and years of no communication, but if they study on you long enough, they'll be able to reach you because you didn't finish cutting that connection off.
It's true. You get it all the time when people say, I'm dreaming about this person, they're coming into me in my dreams. Mercury retrograde too. I got folios coming back from 1995. It's like, goddamn. You know, I thought you was married with 15 kids. How you still have my number? But it is true. And I realized that when that happens, like you say, I need to cut it. I don't want to see
I'll cut it out.
Yeah, at this point, you getting ready to disappear because there's no connection. But it does happen. It does.
And with every breakup, I think that this is what needs to happen. Don't start going out looking for another man or another woman instantly. Take care of your spirit and the spirits that walk with you. Because, you know, sister, and a lot of people don't think about this, but every relationship we get into, we drag our spirits in with us. And after a while, they're going to believe that this is what we want in our life. If we're after confusion and abuse and we don't break that cycle and we just keep going and going, after a while our spirits are going to be like, hey, she likes that, so let me give it to her. She doesn't look for peace, you know. And this is something like Papa Hector was saying today, you know. He has taught me a lot. It's a different thing, but it's still affecting my spirit within me. And it's kind of like the things that my mama taught me and other elders have taught me. It's just a different way, you know.
Right.
You know. So you have to take care of your own spirit, and especially if you're a conjure worker and you're out in public and you are a public figure. You have to make sure that your personal protections, your family's protections, your home protection, that all those things are up and that you keep yourself spiritually cleansed. Or you just leaving a crack for somebody to get through.
No, it's true. You know, a lot of people laugh at me, but in between breakups, I take a year.
Yeah.
I don't care how hard you chasing what you want. I got to take time. I got to cleanse. I got to heal from whatever that situation was, even sexually. It's like I feel like you got to let things air out. You gotta take time. I think what happens with people, especially codependency, they don't want to be alone. And sometimes that is a spirit of desperation that makes you want to be with somebody. And then of course we have spirits of sex addiction. Spirits that don't really want a relationship. They just want to have sex with different people because that makes them feel better. I think people don't realize there are certain energies that you pick up. That literally can be attachments and ride you. That's why you cleanse in between relationships. Somebody was asking if a lot of this protection and reversal stuff are in your books, and I know they are.
Oh yeah. In every book I write, I put something in there because not everybody is going to read every book that I have. Not everybody is going to read everything that I write. And cleansing, and you know, whenever I first started writing books and started teaching outward more than the Houston area and about around here, I found out that a lot of people didn't do cleansing work. They just didn't cleanse. You're doing all this work, but you're not doing any cleansing work. All this stuff is going on in your life, but you're just letting it build up like a mountain and you're not doing anything about it. Cleansing work should be at the top of the list and your protections.
I agree. I 100% agree. Let me see. Oh, Shishi is doing an interview with Papa Hector on the 29th.
Oh, okay. She'll have to share it with me on Facebook.
Yeah, she will. I'm pretty sure it's going to be with the Calico Goddess on her page. So.
Oh, okay. Good.
Let me see. Let's see. Lori, Tadora, people can trauma bond as well. That's true. A lot of times when people bond, it is because of trauma.
Yes.
There's nothing like falling in love with another damaged person.
Yes.
You damage, they damage, y'all meeting in that misery. And some people, like you say, that's the spirit. That spirit loves that energy. So that is true, Laura. Let me see.
And also, there could be suppressed things that could come up when you in a relationship. You might think you're not broke at that moment. That person might not think that they're broke at that moment. But then, soon as y'all get together, all that stuff come up, and then you're like, "I thought I was over this. I thought I let this go. I thought this." But then there's always something that'll trigger it.
Those triggers, those triggers. You know, I still have my moments. You know, and Chuck will say something or do something, you know, and I get kind of crazy with him, and he's like, "What?" It's from past experience. Sometimes you never let your spirit never turns loose of everything. It's you have to continually work on it and chip it away and let it go.
I think a lot of people, they know that in theory.
Yeah.
But they don't want to deal with it, because I remember dating a guy that I was messing with him or playing with him, and I jumped out to scare him, and he literally was on the floor crying. And I didn't know what happened, and it was because he had been molested.
Yeah.
And that's what the guy that used to molest him did. And it brought in a whole lot of other issues that I didn't know anything about. And it broke the relationship up because he felt like he couldn't go further with that. You have molestation, you have rape, you have a lot of things that people deal with silently. And a lot of men, and I get this a lot of times with guys, they're like, "Well, why do women cry during sex? You know, the orgasm was really good or whatever." And I'm like, no, sometimes that's trauma.
Yeah.
That's the body releasing trauma.
Yes.
So you're absolutely right. You're right. And I think more so, if you're spiritually connected, you feel it. You know you have stuff that you have to work on.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, sometimes spirit will draw you to somebody. Like I feel like me and Geronimo were drawn together. How do you last? And I sit here and think about this often. How the hell we last 40 years? That's over half my life. How the hell did that happen? But it's like we just belong. You know?
Y'all are meant to be together. I have never seen anybody have the relationship that you and him have. I really, and I mean, it works. It works for you, but like you say, it would not work if he was with somebody else. He would not, I know he wouldn't have the same relationship with somebody else that he has with you. So I agree. I think sometimes spirit brings that person in because there's something that needs to be healed that maybe they can help you with, or maybe you might help them heal.
Yeah.
But I think you have to realize if it's too toxic.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you can only take a person so far, and you got to back up and let that go.
You got to say, that's the end of that.
Yeah.
Right. Because when you're spiritual and you get to that point in your life where you can discern between actual love and attachment.
Yes.
True.
And know that you are at that stage in your life where you know you're growing with somebody instead of growing onto somebody.
Yeah. That's a very good way to put it. You are right. I think a lot of people think when they attach, it is love. But you can attach for desperation. You can. You can attach for you don't want to be alone. Now, Charlene is saying, Mama, can you give some basic protection tips?
I think that mirrors will be a great one. Now, there is no fix-all, end-all. That's not possible. But mirrors facing outward in the windows to the road help stop things that will come into your house. Bay leaves is another thing. In the corners for years, and we've lived in this house for we're going on 32 years, I think now. But used to, when we first moved here, baby, there was bay leaves in every corner. You couldn't check a corner out that it wasn't bay leaf in there. Not only does bay leaves protect, it also helps with peaceful home, cuts down on the arguments and all that. Also, lemon sitting in a bowl of salt will also protect. If you put it behind the door, folks coming in and out, that lemon and salt's going to pull. If they salty, it's going to pull it off of them. A broom by the door is truly the best thing. And that's old school. That's and people that's been here knows I got brooms everywhere. There is brooms everywhere.
It's true.
Because they truly do. They can either pull in or they can get it out. You know, if you don't want company, if you turn the head of the broom upward and put it behind the door, folks ain't gonna come visiting. That automatically stops them from coming. You know,
sure. I got 2 of them behind the door. 2 of them.
Yep, you can do that to make a person leave too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if they're in your house and you want them to leave, you can take it and turn it upside down.
Yeah, they gotta go. So just those little things will help. Spiritually cleansing your house at least once a month also helps. You know.
And I think too, amulets and talismans, things that you can wear, that you can anoint and you can wear. You know, we living in a day and age where everybody's taking selfies. Everybody got to be on Instagram and Facebook. Mama told me a long time ago when I first met her, Mama's like, you got to cover your eyes and you got to cover your head.
Yep.
Cover your eyes and you got to cover your head. If you're going to take pictures, you need to put glasses on. But if you're not wearing glasses, you need to have some type of protection in your pictures, so that it makes it harder for people, because we all know you get mad with somebody, you get pissed off. First thing you want to do is go to their Facebook page and download that picture so that you can work it. So even filters, I've noticed that sometimes trying to work certain people, if they have filters on, I don't get the same results. I got to dig and find something without all these blue eyes and butterfly wings and shit. They be making me work for it. But little things like that. So if you're taking pictures, if you're online, you need to have some type of protection, a mirror behind you, you know, something that you're wearing so that you can, you know, block that energy. And Sherwin, you remember you told me about the bay leaves and fiery wall of protection. You were saying, you know, go ahead and put your fiery wall of protection on your bay leaves and put them in your windows. And that works really good for me too.
want to do is make sure you are at conjureknits.com. Go up to the top, click on Love Donation. You can type in $5, then click on the Donate button. From there, that will take you over to your cart. If you have multiple questions, you can change this number here. We'll put in 3, for example. Make sure that your price reflects the number of questions that you put in. Click on checkout. Then up here, you will see where you can add an order note. This is where you are going to be typing in your question or questions. After you have typed in your questions, you will click on Save Note. And once you have done that, you are going to need to fill out your name, your email address, all your information, and then you come down here to the payment, you put in your card, or you can pay with CashApp. And then once you fill that out, simply click on Place Order. Easy peasy. I will get your order and send you a video that is unlisted. Talk to you soon.
And you know, there is a old work, and I think Mimi taught me this. I don't know. I learned it after we moved in this house because that was it. It had to be Mimi. It was either Mimi or Nana, where you take a fresh box of salt and you go starting at your front door. You go around the house while you're praying, the opposite direction of the hands of the clock. Then you go back where you started from. Then you go the other direction while you're praying. And it confuses work that's been set on you. Not only that, salt protects. I usually do that once a year, not counting all the stuff I got buried out in the corners of my yard, corners of the house, the front door stoop. There's stuff everywhere here. If they ever dig this land up, they're gonna be, what in the world was going on over here?
Lord, Mama, for real. They probably gonna be like, oh my God, they're gonna find animal bones and all kind of stuff in their yard.
Yeah.
Like,
but you know that salt thing works. And I used to do it every month. Once a month, I would do it. And then I started traveling a lot, and so I haven't got back into it, but I need to, and that must be spirit reminding me about it, that I need to do it again.
And really, I use black salt because I make my own black salt, but you could really use, like you say, table salt.
Yeah, I use Morton salt with the little girl, and and you know, a lot of people don't understand that little girl on that box of salt. You know, most folks see a little white girl playing in the rain with an umbrella over her head, right? Well, I was taught as a young worker that is the best salt that you can work with for cleansing baths and protection work, because why? It's storming outside, raining, yet that umbrella is protecting.
I've heard that. I heard that when I was little, that somebody said the umbrella was her protection. That's why you use the salt.
That's right.
And that's old. That goes back way back.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Some of them don't even know. They don't even know what you're talking about. Y'all got to stop buying that. What is it? The general salt. Which is, you got to get the Mortons. You're right.
Yeah, because there used to be one where she was dragging the umbrella behind her.
Yes.
And the salt was on the ground and the umbrella was closed and the salt was following her.
Yes.
Yeah, that's an old one.
Yeah, it was old.
Let me see. I'm trying to pick you up another question, Mama.
Yep. And I was always, like, growing up, I was always told to always wash with that lye soap. But they said once you start washing with it, you got to always wash with it.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you wash with anything else, your skin will get messed up. But that was the best soap to use in cleansing. Matter of fact, Tonya, that's what we washed with in Haiti. That was lye soap.
I
And
believe
you know
it.
why? Because lie eats things up. It eats things up. And you know, this goes along with what we were talking about a while ago with the graveyard and all that stuff. You have to know why a product does what it does. You got to know what the lye soap does. Why? How does that work? Why does that work? Because one, it's made with potash and lye eats things up, and potash is something that burnt and brings forth the power of fire. All those things are combined together. You have to know and see. Growing up, I learned all this stuff, and so, but the young folks nowadays ain't learning all that. You know, they're not learning why it works or what's in there, like the Morton salt girl. You know, all they see at the store is that costs 98 cents and this other cheap one over here costs 50 cents. You know, but there's a reason why old conjure workers work with Morton salt.
It's true. It's true. And even going back to the lye, I remember my grandma, whenever the soap would get small, she would throw them all in a jar.
Yes.
And mix it all together. Yes. And then we would dip into the jar and still come back with it. Yeah. Because she was like, no, we got to let this soak. And I'm pretty sure she prayed over it.
Yeah.
While it soaked. So like you say, there are a lot of things that I think there's things that modern workers bring to the table for sure.
Yes.
But I think there are a lot of things that come back from elders where you saying that people are trying to do this without elders. You need that knowledge.
That's the foundation of the work. If you have a strong foundation, you know, nothing can rock you. And I know as times change, the work has to change some. But folks are going crazy with this. Like I seen somebody put up something with butter. Really, butter?
Oh Lord, here we go.
I just said butter. It came to my mind. I just said butter. Back in the day, you have to think back in the day, butter was not to be wasted. You see, folks don't think about that. You got to think, could that be wasted? Is that something that they would work with and waste? No, butter was cherished, as was syrup. And if they were lucky to have honey, so was honey. If they had that type of money, my folks didn't have that type of money. We was lucky to have grits and fatback and syrup and biscuits. I mean, it's for real.
No, it's true. I think you get some people nowadays that feel like you have to. I mean, of course, there's a lot of mixing and moxing, like you always say it.
I know.
There's a lot of things that people are just like, okay, you have to have this because I saw this online, and the butter thing kind of took me out a long time ago. I couldn't even figure it out. I gotta be honest, I couldn't figure it out. The lettuce thing, I know certain spirits that like lettuce, but for some people, it was kind of like, okay, what we doing? But I try not to be judgmental because your spell is your spell. Your work is your work.
Your work.
Making a delicious salad.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. But I do agree that you have to come to a place where the work has to make sense to you for it to work.
But you know, Sister Lettuce, I could understand that.
That's what I said. There's some spirits.
When you strip lettuce, you have those outer edges. They could have rolled stuff up in that. Because I know of a work that Mr. Robert taught me with cabbage, where you roll the leaf up at the first of the new year, and you carry that all year long. You see, I know potatoes. Potatoes are workable. Those are things that the ancestors had that they could get their hands on.
Absolutely.
You know,
even onion skin.
Yes.
Onion skin, garlic skin, you can burn it in your house as an incense for protection too.
Yes.
I don't throw anything away. If we're using it and it's for protection, we gonna burn it, we gonna smoke it, we gonna soak whatever we need to do with it. But I think, like you say, you have to kind of figure out where the work comes from.
Yeah.
You have to
know that foundation. You got to know that foundation. You got to understand the folks that this work comes from. Sherwin, you live in South Carolina. I was raised there. Does anything really change there, honestly?
Barely. We got a hotel in the middle of Lake City now, and guess what it's called? It's called the Inn at the Crossroads. And a lot of those convenience stores are still there, just like Glen Godwin store. Glen Godwin store is still there, but it's owned by somebody else because they bought him out. They built up Florence a little bit because now we have a medical college downtown by the courthouse. But other than that, it's slowly trying to, but it's
do the people change?
No.
Do the people change? No.
They don't change.
No. No. I can go back there right now and be just like I never left. Like nothing ever changes there. You know,
that's not a good thing, though.
Change. They don't change.
Mm.
And you know, Trisha was born in Florence. My daughter was born in Florence, South Carolina, at McLeod's.
I didn't know
I don't think the old McLeod's is there anymore. Is it still there, Sherman?
Oh yeah, it's still there. It done build itself up now. It has those big parking garages now. And it has 3 parts to it now.
Oh, hey, got big time. All right.
It has three parts to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has 3 parts to it now. It has the Woman's Pavilion. It has the cancer center. It has the Children's Hospital. It has all that now.
Oh wow, yes. Wasn't none of that there. When I had Trisha, there was none of that.
Yeah.
We need to take a road trip, Mama.
I'll bring you. I'll bring you. We can go.
Yeah. So that way I can go mess with my bro and my sister down there. I can mess with both of them.
When all this is over with, we'll go.
All right, I'm good. You know, all you gotta do, my suitcase stays packed. Let me see. Charlene said on the islands we use okra for protection and cleansing. Actually, the okra bath is really good for breaking curses and hexes.
Yeah.
Because of the slime.
Yeah.
So for a lot of people, if I really start feeling a certain way, I'll get in there, and I mean, it ain't pretty, but it's not supposed to be. It's effective.
Yeah.
But there's so many different other cleansers that you could do too, but that makes sense. Let me see.
Well, you know why okra is good for protection is because it has those hairs on it.
Ah.
Yeah. And you know, cutting okra always has to be done after the dew dries because the dew on those hairs will itch you.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. I remember picking okra. I remember how makes your hands raw.
Yes, that you got to wear long sleeve flannel shirts and get out there because that is going to itch you to death.
It's true. In Louisiana, they used to ship us down and we would pick it. It was enough. Tata Kempu messing with you, bro. He said you up here looking like somebody's sugar daddy.
He's on here advertising for BDSM, talking about should he put syrup on his subs? Like it sounds like he's advertising for a Subway commercial as well. So I mean, I'm confused.
Well, you know, that could be his love work. That's sex magic. He putting some honey. What he doing? He's sweetening it up. He's sweetening the person up.
I mean, he's asking how to do it. So I guess he's hosting 50 Shades of Campu party, I guess.
Okay. All right. Well, we may need to have him back so we can talk about this 50 Shades with the honey and all this other stuff going on.
Right. 50 Shades of Campu.
Let me see. I'm trying to find another card. Would you say 50 Shades of Campu? I can't. Oh, Yvette White is saying she makes lye soap. And a lot of people don't deal with lye soap nowadays. But back in the days, that we used to, it's a miracle we are alive because we used to bathe in ammonia.
Yeah.
Lye soap. I mean, really.
Turpentine.
Oh God.
Castor oil.
Oh Lord, not castor oil. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
It's true.
Some nasty stuff.
I know. It'll fix whatever's wrong with you though.
Oh, they forgot about that. What is it? Drinking that mineral oil.
Yeah, mineral oil.
Oh my God.
It's the miracle. It's the miracle. I always say that the people who grew up like that probably gonna live till they're about 99 because we already know which. Yes, right? Everything. So let's see. Alyssa's saying it's a lot of older people not teaching, elders not elders, and the youth not becoming knowledgeable. I think the thing about it is a lot of elders are getting tired of sharing information and the youth not using it.
Yep.
I think that's what it is.
Or mixing and moxing it up, you know, and just turning everything around and trying to mix other knowledge. The thing with learning is it takes time, it takes steps.
Absolutely.
You can't just jump in and y'all, I'm speaking from experience. Papa Hector is my teacher, and I have to be patient. My time is not Spirit's time.
True.
Young folks nowadays don't want to take the time to get that foundation that you truly need in order to be you want to be a big, bad spiritual worker, then get the foundation of it. Nothing can rock that. Nothing. You will always know what to do because you will have that strong connection with your ancestors, with the spirits that walk with you, and they always gonna guide you and lead you. Always. But if you've got that, you know, I picked this up here, picked up that, pick this, pick that, then that's what your work is really going to be about. And it's going to run out of steam, you know?
It's true. You know, and I just had this conversation with somebody, but I tell people all the time, you don't really need to be in 15 traditions.
No.
You don't need to have 12 practices. It's almost, what is that? The jack of many trades, but the master of none.
Yep.
And it's because you're spreading yourself thin. I think you literally have to connect with spirit to see if it's the path you're supposed to be on in the first place. If not, you're wasting your time. Now, we have some people on here that are like, how do you find a mentor, or I want somebody to teach me? What do you feel like they should be looking for, Mama, in a mentor or an elder?
Okay, so I'm from my own experience. I've known Papa Hector for 3 years. So it took me that time watching him, seeing what he's all about, being around him, in order for me to say yes, you know. And so I think that first you got to know the person, because mentors are people. They have funny ways just like everybody else does. You know, you have to interact with them, get to know them. Don't jump in feet first. Just take your time. I've never been initiated in anything but conjure work. This is what I do. This is what I know. You know, this is all I've ever done. But with the 21 divisions, it's just, you'll learn. When Spirit's got something for you, they're going to take you to it. They're going to keep bringing you, keep putting it in your face until you acknowledge it. And the 21 divisions is not that far off. Yeah, the works and stuff. I don't really know nothing about that. I haven't learned anything about that yet. But the spirits, even though they're different and work different, it's still spirits that I'm accustomed to. You know what I mean? It's spirits that I already work with, that I've worked with, it seems like my whole life, you know, that are already a part of me. And I really feel like that's what's missing with some of these initiations. They just want to do it because they want the power. I don't need the power. That's not why I'm going to get initiated. I'm getting initiated because it's a stronger bond with spirit. I've got all the power I need in conjure.
Damn it, Mama. Come with it. Come with it, Mama.
I'm already going to
make me jump up. Make me jump up.
I need the spirit, that deep connection. And I'm learning there's a difference. There's a different feel. You see? I felt it strong before, but now it's like it'll knock. I'm getting chills. It's like it'll knock your socks off. You know what I'm saying?
I know. I know exactly what you're saying, because I felt like when I was called into voodoo, it felt right. it made me tingle. It made me excited. And that was because it was a stronger connection with the spirit. It had nothing to do about a title. I could have went to Haiti and came back with no title. What I wanted was the connection. And you said it perfectly. You get so many people out here that literally want to go from A to Z because of ego. They want to be seen as the biggest, baddest. You got all these people on, you know, doing their witch faces. You know, I'm hard, I'm this and that. I think the whole thing about it is if you're connected with spirit properly, you ain't got to do shit.
No.
It shows.
Yeah.
It shows on you. So you said a word. You said a word. I'm sitting over here. I feel like I got to get up. I'm a 2-step after this for you.
Because it was the Holy Ghost.
Yeah, and I might do some rolls or something too, but I'm trying to hold it together. I'm trying to, but you speaking the truth, Mama. And I think that people need to hear that. It's something that takes time and it takes patience to develop a relationship with spirit. This is not something that happens overnight. Mama Starr, you've been working how many years? 40 years?
Professionally, yeah, since I was 25.
So when you look at somebody who has been working that long, making a connection with spirit that long, and then they're saying, I'm about to do 21 divisions because spirit is calling me to that.
Yeah.
That's showing that she wants that deeper connection. What do they say? You can't teach you can teach what they say, you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
But you can.
But I guess you can.
You can. You can. You can.
I'm proud of you.
The thing is, sister, the separation of the two. I will probably not ever, unless spirit leads me, talk about the 21 divisions other than just how it has enlightened my life. You know, I doubt I'll ever give a class on the 21 divisions. That is not why I'm doing this. I'm doing it for my spiritual life, for my spirits. I'm a conjure woman. I'm always going to be a conjure woman. When they throw dirt on me, I'm still going to be a conjure woman. That's who I am. That's what I owe to my ancestors. The 21 divisions, it's for me. And although I feel like my ancestors have been pushing and tugging and trying to drag me there for years, but it had to feel right. You know, it had to feel right for me, you know.
It came at the right time. And I think that's when you go back and you say, okay, you can't push it. You have to realize that there are things that have to be worked out in your life for you to move forward with spirit. A lot of people, like I say, microwave magic.
Yeah.
I want to connect with this deity. I want you to go do this for me, and you're going to help me grow and become successful and famous. And that's what we're doing. It doesn't work that way. Sometimes spirit waits for you to get on levels you have a maturity to handle what they want to give you.
And I want to say this. I'm probably 25 years Papa Hector senior. Okay. But in the damn 21 divisions, I'm a child.
Right.
I don't know nothing. I'm learning. So whatever he says is law for me. That's what I have to do. Age don't have nothing to do with it. You know? And I think a lot of folks think that they're equals. You're not equal if you don't know what you're doing. You are nobody's equal. I'm not his equal, probably never will be it because he was born and raised in this.
Right. It's the knowledge.
Yes.
It is the knowledge. And it is a respect. I mean, a lot of people, I think somebody asked me that same question about Papa. They were like, how is he your Papa when you're older than him? I'm the same way. I'm a baby.
Yes.
I'm coming into a tradition on the ground floor. Even as a Mambo, initiate means I'm at the beginning of my journey.
Yeah.
So you have to give that elder respect.
Yes.
Because they've already gone through the things that I'm trying to learn. And I think a lot of people get confused with that. But you're absolutely right. If you're taught the right way, you know how to respect an elder. If you don't know how to respect an elder or you don't want to respect an elder, then you don't need that person as your mentor.
Yeah.
You just don't. It's not going to work.
And therefore, what? You're going to have a crumbling foundation that's not going to do anything for you, but just, it's a game playing.
Right.
You have to be taught.
a lot of people get it twisted when it comes to the word elder. They think that just because we say elder, we're looking for an old person that has been on this planet forever and have been through
Like
so
me.
much and stuff like that. That's not always the case. A person that is an elder, you can come into a tradition and have somebody like my age and know way more than what you know.
Exactly.
And a person tell you that's your elder right there because this, and this. Then the person look at you and say, "Oh, well, they ain't got gray hair and stuff like that." That don't matter.
That has nothing to do with it.
Well, I
It's
mean,
the knowledge. It's the knowledge
absolutely.
and the foundation that they can help you build. That's what makes them an elder. You know?
I think the thing is, with my god siblings under Papa, I'm probably the oldest, but Sherwin is my elder.
Yes.
Sierra is my elder. They have been in the tradition longer than I have. They have more knowledge than I have. So when he speaks to me, I respect what he says.
Correct.
Because he knows what he's talking about. So I think when it comes, there's no ego there. I don't have to say I'm trying to be him, his equal. I'm not his equal, and I never will be. But you have to understand where your place is in with this. And a lot of people that have authority problems, or they don't want to listen, then certain traditions or certain practices are not for them. You have to be honest with yourself. If you got control issues and you can't walk away and step back and let somebody teach you, then it's not for you. So for those that are looking for mentors, you got to make sure that you connect with the right people, and then you got to make sure that you're teachable, that you're open.
Exactly. That's the key word right there. If you're teachable, because you don't know everything. And just like I grew up hearing my whole life, this one thing that it echoes to this day, they always told me, try the spirit by the spirit. They used to tell me that all the time. If your spirit don't sit right with that person, you done test their spirit and their spirit don't sit right with you, then move on.
That's right.
And back to what you were saying, Tonya, just like I don't know everything, Mama Starr don't know everything. But I bet you we can sit down in a room and bounce ideas and stuff off of each other. That there's something that Mama Starr ain't never heard, and there's something that Mama Starr know that I never heard.
True.
And so we can go back and forth and say, you know what? As long as I've lived, I ain't never heard this, I ain't never heard that. But guess what? We build. It's all about building.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's what I love about Mama. You can go to Mama's house and be in there sweeping the floor. Minding your own business, sweeping the floor, doing whatever you want. And Mama out of nowhere be like, these beans, you need to drop them in the pot and do this and throw you some coins in there. And I'd be like, okay, wait. Let me put my broom down so I can take notes. But that's the way that she comes at you.
That's the way I was taught. That's the way I was taught. I didn't learn everything at once. Everything that I have learned was not taught by one mentor. And I learned on stories, and the work is within those stories. You see, the tale is within the tale, so to say. That's how I was taught, and so that's the only way I know how to teach. I don't know how to write a lesson out and we're going to do this. I can't teach like that.
I think when you and really in all your books, you make a valid point, especially with the slave songs.
Yes.
Things were told in those songs to help these people move, know when to run, know when to hide, know where they were meeting up at. It was all
messages.
Yes, it was all in the song. You had to know how to listen to it. You couldn't be talking with the people while the stuff was going on, because you had to listen to the message. I feel like we need to get back to that with a lot of people. I think we need to listen more.
And so it's being lost because a lot of elders are passing. A lot of elders are tired of the younger generation, because this is the computer generation, the phone generation. They want everything fast. Nobody will sit down with the elder under a tree or on the breezeway or on the front porch and just sit there and talk. Very few kids do that now. And that's when I learned some of the most valuable works that I know was those times.
Yep.
You know?
It's true.
Yeah. See, we got tested back in the even during church. You go to church and you listen to the pastor preaching and see what that pastor preaching about, because even back then one of the pastors was a worker. And so before church started, you hear one of them say, now listen to this sermon, and then I'm gonna ask you what you learned in that sermon after the church and see what you get from it. You can ask my my student list. I put up a Bible passage and I messaged her. I said, quick quiz. I said, what do you get out of this Bible passage?
Mm-hmm.
What does Spirit tell you about this passage? And before you know it, she had a whole work. The Bible itself will tell you everything you need to know about conjure if you just listen to the Holy Spirit, as they say.
Yeah.
You have to do it though. You have to sit down and be able to say, okay, I'm gonna do this, and this. I'm gonna listen to so and so. So will tell me this. That's just like back to the music. We have gospel songs, we have gospel singers, we have people in gospel groups, all in our family. And all those songs have stories in them. All those songs have works in them.
Yes.
And if you really, really listen to them, you'll know when somebody done died.
Yep.
You know when somebody is ready to get married. You know when somebody's going through a hard time. If, say for instance, if I walk to the house and my grandma is singing Long as I Got King Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
So somebody done stressed her out.
Yeah.
So for one, my grandma's a Libra, so she done about cuss somebody out.
Oh, yeah.
So she's holding on to the Lord right now before she go off.
Yeah.
And so
Jesus, take the wheel.
And so, and then once we go from that song, then I'll hear my aunt in the other room. I'll be singing "Go Down Moses." It's signals. Signals go through the house. You either go to stay and listen or you gonna run because somebody's about to get cussed
cultural. It's cultural. And I am seeing that folks that are born outside of the culture don't understand this stuff because they didn't grow up in it. It's normal life for us, but they didn't grow up in it, so they don't have a clue. You know, so let's remove the Bible out of conjure work. We don't need the Bible. You know, we don't need this. We don't need that. Let's take it all out. Well, that's not
what do you have?
Work. Yeah, what do you just destroyed the whole foundation. So
if you take the Bible out of conjure, what do you have?
Well, you know, and I truly understand folks' reaction to the Bible. When the ancestors were brought over here as slaves, they were not Christian. They were beat and forced and killed into Christianity, and I understand that. And it probably took and Sherwin, you know what I'm saying, probably took 2 or 3 generations before they really brought the Bible in. But the thing that folks are missing is the ancestors turned that into powerful work. They mix what they knew with those words that they knew they could get away with, and boom, you got conjure work.
Absolutely.
And to me, it's disrespectful to the ancestors of this work who were murdered, killed, their bones just strewed everywhere, to take one thing out of this work. Take one thing, change one thing. That's disrespectful.
I agree.
It is.
Yeah.
Yep. Because if you take the Bible out of it, then that means you're taking the Psalms out of the work. You're taking the Holy Spirit out of the work. You're taking Moses. You're taking King Solomon. You're taking David. You're taking Jezebel. You're taking Bathsheba. You're taking all those spirits and all that out of that. And what you're left with, herbs, candles, and what else? When back in the day, you had grandma them praying for you over a prayer cloth and telling you to take it with you in your pocket.
Yes.
Or you had a prophet praying over you and anointing oil over you and telling you, I'm finna dress you so you can go out into the world. And I see all this good stuff
Right.
over your life. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
pray over you, and you take this with you. See, they don't know about that. They
But
looking for
if you take all of that out, then what do you have?
magic. That's it.
Then that means that the ancestors that fought not to turn into Christians and lost their lives or was beat half to death,
Absolutely,
and all
Mama.
of that happened for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
All of that
Exactly.
happened for nothing.
Exactly.
They
You're
suffered
right.
for nothing because now I feel like that the ancestors knew exactly what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And this goes along with conjure work. When you run into a wall, you either go through it, around it, over it, but you find a way to get what it is that you need. And I think by them accepting Christianity and them, I don't think that I think accepting is the wrong word. I think them taking Christianity and putting it to work for
Making it
them
their own.
They adapted.
made it powerful.
Yeah.
They adapted. That's just like in the voodoo, how they took the saint images and used the saint images to represent each one of the loa. You have Dambala. Everybody say that, oh well, you have a white face and stuff like that, but guess what? The slaves back then, they didn't just see that white face. They see Dambala in that image because they see the snakes.
Yeah.
Or Odan. You have Odan because Moses turned the staff into a serpent, or Ezili Fredo or Ezili Danto, because they show representations to that spirit. So the same goes for the Bible. We see representations of power in the Bible. That goes for Moses too, how Moses helped free the slaves. We have David, King David. King David sung many songs of power to God. See, people forget about that. People forget about David and how he sung when he was down. See, you about to have me preaching. When he was down on his luck and he was going through so much sickness and pain, and how he still cry out to God. And when he had enemies that was on his back, Psalms 109, when he had enemies on his back.
Hello, we're going to church. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. All right. Okay, I'm ready.
And he was up here praying to make sure that his enemies had a downfall, because guess what? What they forget about when it comes to the Bible and praying to God is that God can do good and God can do evil.
Yes, he can.
Because because even then God spoke when he was in the garden. He said, for when Adam and Eve gained knowledge, he said they have become like us to know good and evil. And so this is why we say, okay, well, you can do a work to kill somebody with the Bible, because God will deem it so. He said, ask and ye shall receive, knock and the door shall be open. Come on, somebody. See, you got me in here preaching. So this is why you can't take a Bible out.
But you know what, Sherwin, I just want to put this little bit of knowledge for thinking for those folks who say that the Bible shouldn't be in this work because of the slave mentality and all that. So we know that places hold power, correct? Every time there's a prayer said in a church house, every time there's the Holy Ghost comes down in that church house, that spirit sits there, right? So next Sunday, the people come, the spirit's sitting there waiting, right? So why wouldn't it be that every ancestor that prayed the Song of Songs, or prayed Isaiah 41, or prayed Psalms 23, why won't their spirit be within those words, within that book? If that's the truth. If we have 4,000 or 5,000 ancestors behind us, and don't you think that their words
come with it.
And their prayers hold power?
Right.
I mean, if you don't see that, then this is probably not the work that you're supposed to be doing. If you can't understand that concept,
Absolutely. Mama, we said we was only gonna do an hour. I think we almost hitting an hour and a half. We gonna end it. We gonna end it because
Okay.
if not, they're gonna be like, bring her back, bring her back. So we got to end it. But somebody did ask about recommendations for book. You can get all of Mama Starr books.
Yeah, they're on selfconjure.com.
Yes, you can get Hoodoo Simoise has a
Yes.
book out.
Yes.
Shakir has 21 divisions.
Yes.
So I would say start with those. Start with those in your library because there's a lot of information. There's a lot of work in there that you can do. And the foundation is there if you're really looking for a foundation.
Yes.
Mama's going to also be teaching some future classes. She has
Yes.
a lot of things coming up. So if you want to connect with her, take the classes.
Yeah.
Spend the money. A lot of people are like, I can't find a mentor. I can't find a mentor. There's nobody in my place. You can get on Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
You can take these classes. You can pay the money and get that knowledge where you
I'm
don't.
gonna tell you, folks nowadays don't want to pay. Before we go, they don't want to pay. Let me tell you what, I've done a many yard jobs. Help me pour slip. Do you know how heavy ceramic slip is? I cleaned so many pieces. I helped Nana clean her business and stuff. I worked. I have cash, but I worked. Nothing is free in this life. I pay Papa Hector as I should because I'm benefiting from it.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't owe me anything. So you have to pay for the lessons. You have to. If you didn't pay for them, you'd take it for granted and it wouldn't mean anything to you.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever noticed when someone pays for something, a big penny, they take real good care of it? When it's something for free, that shit's thrown in the floor, in the bottom of the car, in the closet. Why? Because it didn't cost them anything. It was
true.
free.
It's true. Anything worth having is going to cost you something.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to sacrifice something. It's going to be time. It's going to be money. It's going to be something. If it's important to you, you will do it. You'll find a way. And if the ancestors want you to do it,
if it's meant for you,
sure
they're
you
going to
get
give
the
it
money.
to you. Yep.
Yeah. They will make sure. I'm telling y'all, I got to Haiti and it was by the ancestors. It was by the ancestors. They wanted me to do it. So if you looking to communicate, connect with Mama Starr, take the classes. Reach out to her, see what she has going on, where she's going to be. And if this is other mentors that you're interested in, reach out. But like she said, don't think you're going in cheap. Knowledge is not going to be free.
Nope.
People have been doing this for a long time. It's disrespectful to even go to an elder and ask for something for free. Yeah. It's disrespectful.
It is.
So, Mama, we're going to let you close out because if we don't, we're going to go another 30 minutes and be on here talking all night. So what you want to leave them with?
Okay. So today it stormed over here, right? And I've been trying to hold this in my mind while we're talking, right? So everybody knows about storm water. What about the waters when the rain is just about stopping? When the peace from the storm is coming? What about that water? Ever thought about catching that and doing peaceful homes?
Right.
Protection to keep the storms out.
And I have to say, I have never worked with peaceful water. I have hurricane water.
Well, it has to be right when the storm is passing and it's just about over. You just put your little cup or something out there and catch that last little tail bit of rainwater.
Thank you, Mama.
You have
you dropped some jewels. We appreciate you 100%.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
No, thank you so much. Well, Mama, tell everybody I said hi. Tell Mr. Geronimo I said hi, and hopefully
he's sitting over here holding his head. He's been out in the rain all day playing with the tractor. And
okay. Yeah. Oh, that's right. He got his tractor.
Yeah.
Ain't
that something?
Well, take care. We love you, and bro, love you too.
All right, love you too. Love you too.
Bye.
Starr. Bye.